Well, okay, I was born in Christ Hospital, Cincinnati, Ohio, as a twin sister, Patsy. We were the second and third children in the family, and I was born in 1921, September 20th. We lived in a town called Sedler Park, which was a normal community, maybe a middle class. And we ran our own house. I went to school at the Catholic school there in Sedler Park. It was a 4-classroom school, 2 classes in each room. But I can remember, I guess I was about the first or second grade of school one time, being sick. I was sick, and while I was sick, my dad bought this new Model T. I can remember this new car out in the backyard, and I was sick. I don't know what I had, scarlet fever or something, and I could only see the car out the window. And it was kind of disappointing that I had to be sick at that time. Well, anyhow, time marches on, and we still lived in this house in Sedler Park. And I don't know what the year would be, but I would say maybe 1927, 28. We lived there probably till about 1930. Then we moved up the street about a mile and a half away to a little bungalow. It was called Twain Avenue. And we lived in that little bungalow there for about 2 years, and then my father built a house. Not too far from where we had lived before. And I would say this is probably, it may have been about 28 or 29. We had the house built, and in those days you could build a whole house for like $4,000,
This was in 1930?
I'm not sure of the years. It might be 29, 30. About the time that things started getting bad, I guess. So we moved down there. My dad had the house built, and then he put hot water heating in it. They put all the pipes up through the walls and put hot water heat in the house. And besides our friends at school, we had family relations in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. And every Saturday, we'd go to Lawrenceburg and visit with my grandmother and aunts and some cousins. It was always a great time because their cousins lived next door, and there were 3 boys, and they were ages a year older, a year younger than I, and Bobby being the same age as I. And then we had some other cousins down there. My dad came from a big family. It was about 9, his family. And they were all from Lawrenceburg, Indiana, which is where they make all the whiskey. Seagram's and Chantilly are some of the big names, besides some smaller ones. But we go down there every Saturday, and we stop at Grandma's. We put our name in the pot, what we call put our name in the pot, so we have something, be sure to have something to eat, And then we'd go out and play, and then supper time or lunchtime, whatever, we'd come back to Grandma's next door and eat. But it was a regular ritual. Every Saturday we'd go to Lawrenceburg. The reason being that Dad was in the ice business, and we had a plant in Aurora, Indiana, which was farther to the west, past Lawrenceburg. We had to go through Lawrenceburg to get there. And this plant was one that he had built. He built this plant, not the building. I'm just talking about the ice plant inside. I don't know just when that was purchased, but it was in the early 30s when he purchased it. And then in about 1935, he remodeled this plant and made it a little bit bigger and changed the system somewhat where he was more modernized. And that would probably be around maybe 36.
You say put your name in the pot on Saturdays?
But yeah, we go to Grandma's, we put our name in the pot. That meant that, we're going to eat lunch there, so don't forget to cook enough food for us. That's what they put the name of the pot. That's what Dad always told me. He'd go in and tell his mom, "Well, put our name in the pot," and he'd be back to eat. Yeah, he'd go down to Aurora or down to Lawrenceburg. They had a plant in Lawrenceburg too, a small ice plant there where he had a little plant there. Everybody those days took ice to keep their food, and ice was a big business. When you take that many trucks in a small town, it's like Lawrenceburg. I don't know what the population is, but about 5 or 6 ice trucks in that small town. Everybody took ice. What happens are usually these people that took ice would take ice maybe 2 to 3 times a week, depending on the size of their ice box and their needs. But on the average, I'd say about 3 times a week, the iceman would bring in, say, 50 pounds, 75, even 100 pounds of ice to these homes. Well, talking about depression, I don't think we really felt the depression like some people did. See, because when you own your own business, you're not going to be out of a job. Although you got to bring the money in to pay everybody else. You got to be able to earn enough to pay salaries. And what helped us, I think the ice business was a wonderful thing at that time because people had to have ice regardless. Even if it was cheap, they still had to have it. We didn't, the price wasn't out of the question price-wise. But if a person went out the street and bought a piece of meat, and they couldn't afford it to spoil, so they had to buy the ice to go with their ice box, keep it cold. And depression, either I was too young or didn't know any better, but to me, I don't remember any bad times about at home. We always had plenty of everything that I can remember. Now, I can remember the bread lines and things in town, with these fellas out of work and just couldn't get a job anyplace. But my dad was a good fellow. I mean, he kept his crew on, even in the wintertime. When business was bad, they would be building maybe ice truck bodies or overhauling the plant and even coming down and raking leaves in the yard and just general maintenance work just to keep from laying these fellas off because he always kept his men on, which was great.